What do we have coming up next?
This afternoon, there's not a lot more on the agenda. They're going to look at, from the Committee on Evangelization and Catechesis, Bishop David Ricken is going to bring forward an issue on encouraging the faithful to return to the sacrament of penance. We're going to look at Bishop George Murray, who is going to be presenting from the Committee on Priorities and Plans the focus, the agenda really for the work of the bishops for the next 3 years, the focal themes that they want to be working on. But there is one thing that's going to come up this afternoon, and it's of great importance, and it is a canonical consultation on the cause for canonization of the servant of God, Dorothy Day. This is a very interesting discussion. In March of the year 2000, Pope John Paul II made it clear that there was enough reason to have her declared as a servant of God and that she should be looked at carefully as a candidate for canonization within the life of the Church. For those of you who aren't familiar with Dorothy Day, she is an extraordinary woman. She was born in 1897 in Brooklyn, New York. She was born of Episcopalian parents and was baptized within the Episcopalian Church. Her father was a sports writer, and in 1903, when she was only 6 years of age, he picked the family up and moved it out to Oakland, California, so that he could take a job at a San Francisco newspaper. And she was there as a young child for the San Francisco earthquake in 1906. What was interesting about this is that she, in that experience, was very taken by the way in which folks were attending to the poor and the needy, and now the homeless from that earthquake. And that was something that touched her whole life. As a child, she was very active in reading. She was an avid reader. She used to like to read Upton Sinclair and Jack London. She also loved the Bible. She had a very great religious instinct. What's interesting about her is that she had a very troubled young adulthood, in her 20s especially. She was married for a very short time. She then had 2 affairs with men. In the first, she became pregnant and actually had an abortion. In the second, she gave birth to a child. The child's name was Tamar Teresa. And by that time, her heart had really moved towards a conversion to the Lord, and she began to look at the Catholic faith as something very, very seriously. She, in that second relationship, that second affair, she found herself more and more moving away from the man that she was living with because she was very convinced about her own faith and the faith that she wanted her daughter to have. He was not, and she gradually moved away from that relationship, brought her daughter up in the Catholic faith. In 1932, she met a man by the name of Peter Morin, who was a French immigrant. And it was with Peter that she began the Catholic Worker Movement that was all about reaching out in the Catholic faith to help people become people involved in social justice and in the great works of the Lord in the communities in which they lived. She spent the rest of her life in that kind of work and was really a woman of great example. Interestingly, while during the 1910s, she was a woman who very, very strongly felt that people should go with free love, and she was against or for birth control and against the teachings of the Church as we know it. By the time the 1960s came along, she was very strongly involved in the whole matter of wanting to look at a very strong morality and a Christian piety. So watch that discussion this afternoon. You're going to hear a lot of comments and statements about her life, and I think a lot of great affirmation for moving forward with a cause for canonization.
What will do they forward something to the Vatican for this? Is that why they discuss this?
The question, if my recollection serves me well, and I'm reaching back a few years now, so be patient with me, my recollection is that the canonical consultation will be a matter of asking the bishops, this name is one that we want to see move forward. Is there any reason that we should not? And I'm suspecting that what we're going to hear is, to the contrary, her name should be forwarded, and these are the reasons. So hopefully that little biography will be helpful to you this afternoon in terms of having a context for the richness of the discussion that's going to take place.
Mm-hmm. And also you had pointed out, so a little more of the same too in terms of some voting. There'll still be some voting? And
that's right. They have a couple of action items, again, from the Committee on Priorities and Plans and the Committee on Evangelization. And then it seems to me, unless the President has other business for them, he'll bring the matter of the Assembly to conclusion and move towards executive session.